Welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a calculator that works in inches instead of just plain old numbers. And I've recently renamed the project as of this morning. It was InchCalc, now it's Kilt Calc, because I'm going to do some other things to focus on kilt makers. What we're working on right now, though, is we want to be able to choose the units for display. So in some cases, like if you're like buying fabric by the yard, you might work in yards, feet, and inches. So you're buying, 3 yards, 2 feet of fabric. Other times you just want to work in inches. So if you're measuring for a waist, you're going to measure that in inches. If you're measuring a pleat, you're going to measure it in inches. So we want to be able to switch around between the displays, how we display the units. And right now we just have a couple variations. Let's go to the code. Actually, let's go to the screen. We have a couple variations. Okay, something's loud. But I renamed them a little bit. I think it used to say show as, and I renamed it just to display. It was like show as inches, or maybe just inches. I can't remember how we had it, but I changed it to be display : and then the value inch, or yard, feet, inch. Okay. And I think that'll be better than show as. I'm open to other suggestions and other words, but that's one thing. So I worked on the strings for that. The second thing I mentioned, I renamed everything to Kilt Calc. So you can see the project now is Kilt Calc and not Inch. Oh, what's this? I don't know. That name is still. I guess I could make a new scheme. All right. Thought I had everything. But anyway, many things have changed to Kilt Calc, including the GitHub directory. And then third, we had some purple triangles, which mean there was some sort of timing problem between the UI and the back end. And I'm all but sure it's View Inspector that's doing that. It was showing up on our UI-based tests that used View Inspector. So they have some instructions about what do you do if you have state. So let me find that. Yeah. So if your struct uses @state, which we just added that yesterday for the picker. You can't just have it like this where you use it and that's all you got to do. You also have to introduce this did appear, and when the main view hits on appear, then you call that function if it exists. And I guess View Inspector must be populating the actual function in there for it. I don't know. Once again, I'm kind of I'm compensating for View Inspector in my design, or maybe I should say I'm compromising my design for View Inspector. So let's find that. Okay, so here's that did appear for View Inspector, and then down on the bottom on appear, it calls it again for View Inspector. So we got that place. We've also got this grid row stuff, and this should really be a V grid. Yeah, just a V grid. Maybe it was a grid, I can't remember. But we started off with some other object, but View Inspector doesn't support this one. I should check if it supports Pickard, shouldn't I? I think that might be advanced. Oh, advanced topic styles, gestures, hosting. No, somewhere there was something that told us. I don't know. Gestures wasn't it? Somewhere we saw a list of all the possible Swift UI components that are covered. I don't think this is it. Styles. No, WatchOS readiness. There we go. Let's see, where's Picker's status? Okay, it is supported. All right, so And at least that's not a problem. Okay. At any rate, it wasn't too hard. It's just kind of arbitrary stuff you have to stick in for the benefit of View Inspector, which is annoying, but I don't know. I'm kind of tempted, kind of like one straw away from saying, this little method could be modified to call calculator directly just as well. The only thing we'd be missing is that little half an inch from the key to the function that it calls or that it works with. And I don't know, that's pretty minimal. All right, so let's go to today's project. Okay, so what we want to do, we got this display as it's working in the sense that there's a component that changes, its contents, and it remembers that state, but it's not doing anything. So I think we'll work at the calculator level. Okay, so where's calculator tests? Yeah. So we're going to add a test. And again, is this the right place to test this? I kind of feel like it is. All right, so we're going to test setting inch display. All right, so we'll enter digit 3, 3, 39. Digit 9. Calc dot enter unit. I thought unit took something. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm sure they wouldn't tell you to do it if they didn't have to. On appear, should that call did appear? Yeah, I mean that seems plausible. That, like you're saying, that it should have been called. Yeah, I don't know, but I do know that I put it in this morning pretty early, and I saw one time where purple came, and I haven't seen anything since. So I don't know if it's still lurking as intermittent, or if there was something that kind of needed to shake its way out, kind of between the rename and the change in View Inspector. I'm not quite sure everything was purely accurate. Okay, so calculator test. All right, now I thought, it is saying missing. Okay, I think we can just say dot inch. Okay, so I'm saying 39 inches, and I want to say enter equals. Okay, and I guess up here, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to set calc dot. Well, I don't know if I could say formatter. It's really imperial formatter. I don't know if I. This is the thing that displays units. Okay, it's called by value formatter, but it's said here. Maybe imperial format. We want imperial formatter dot inches. Okay, that doesn't exist, so I have to be explicit here. All right, and then when I call assert equal calc display, I expect that to be 39 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to make my rare run on test, I'm going to set the format equals yard feet inches. And that should change the display. Okay, now this field doesn't exist. And I'm going to put it in. Okay, I'm going to make him published as well. Public var imperial format equals imperial formatter dot inches. I'm going to default to inches. We have to have something, and I think that's a reasonable choice. Okay. Now that test should compile. Good. And it should fail. One of these two, oh, this one's wrong already. That's 1 yard, 2 feet, 3 inches. Okay. 1 yard, 3 inches. Oh, 39 is 1 yard, 3 inches. That's correct. Well, let's use 63. You know, I'm going to break this test up a little bit. Okay. Okay, this already is going to fail. We default to yard feet inches. So this one, I'm going to switch these two. And this should be this. And then if we switch back to inches, it should be 63 again. Okay. Changing display, unit display. Okay. Both will fail, but let's focus here first. Okay, so we are using the hard-coded imperial formatter here. Yeah, that may be too much to ask. All right, let's split that out then. Let's start as yard, feet, inches. Make the test reflect that. Okay, we'll just work on this test. So this test should pass. Okay, and now this one. I guess I want to swap that. I'm going to change it eventually because I think inches is a better default. For the actual users, most of the time you're calculating stuff in the middle, not buying the fabric in the first place. And even there, this is probably would be better off as yards. I don't know. We'll see. But let's take this. I always forget, is there a combo that's, no. Command option, left bracket or right bracket. Okay. Okay, so if we force it to inches and check and then force it back, it should be okay. All right. So the first one should still pass. The second one will not. Okay, so changing it to inches doesn't do anything. All right, and then this, well, this is a static function. So what I think we really want is we want a function on our element. A public function formatter. Maybe it's a var formatter, and its type is this thing, imperial formatter function, number formatter, and a double. Now I'm getting mixed up. This function is number formatter double to string. Number formatter double to string. Okay, yeah, so we want this. This. And then we're going to switch on self. No, I think I got them swapped around. Let me double check. Oh, we got our purple thing back. I'm going to be annoyed. Oh, this should set to yard feet inches. It doesn't matter because it's ignored, so that's why the test passed. I don't know if I left this in. No, I didn't. Okay, so switch self, and then case inches, return as inches. Case yard feet inches, return as yard feet inches. I think I can say self dot. Okay. And let's run this again. Oh, it doesn't matter because I didn't do anything with it. Okay, what I want to do with it is instead of this, I want to look at imperial formatter. Okay, so now I'm consulting this to decide what to draw. Okay, oops. Expected expression, okay. Test green. All right, I do want to change that default, but this is good. Make calculator use the proper imperial formatter. Okay, No, we haven't. We haven't made that connection to the content view though. Let's go to these tests. I got Y meaning yards. I guess I'll use the capital version. It's getting a little obscure. I need a letter to indicate choose inches or choose yard feet inches. And even the Y, I'm not sure what to choose there. Well, maybe an at, because someday I'm going to add feet or inches or yards. So, all right. So I'm saying if you type an at, I want this to be try key. No, I don't. What do I want? I need to hit a picker. Where's key? He is not one of them. Choose units, content view, and then, I guess I need an imperial formatter. Formatter. Type imperial formatter. Okay. Let's. Well, it's going to have to be kind of like this. What's going to return? Inspectable view type. I don't know if he has to return anything. He's just going to select this value. Oops. Let's let picker equal inspect.find. Let's go find what we can find. Maybe main readme. Inspection guide. Find view with. Yeah, maybe this is. Maybe this is a good choice. And this is called. Well, we'll give it one. Okay, we got the picker. Indent. Count. I don't know if there's a select or what's his type? Maybe we should do this version. Custom view. View type dot picker dot self. Okay, so hopefully he is a picker now, or at least wraps a picker. Okay. Picker dot. I assume there's an index or a select. Selected value, but how do I change that? Well, let's ask Apple. I still have picker here. Okay, what can you do with these things? No. I kind of want to know how to programmatically use it, and it's not really telling me. Oh, there we go. Now, picker style. Oh, maybe I'm picking the wrong thing. I think I need to access the selected unit format. Now I gotta look at this thing again. The state stuff. Okay. Well, that's getting a little messier. Okay, well, let's take that and see what we can do with it. Well, we'll take the set in. Okay, we'll take the set and the content formatter. Okay, so set member on. Yeah. How are we doing up here? Key. Well, we can do this kind of thing. Okay. Okay, so this goes view to actual view. Okay, so yeah, okay. We'll throw this. We'll get the calculator, find the picker, and then we want to say, I don't know. I guess I want to say view to actual view. I think I need to do a keystroke. Maybe I don't have to. It's set up. Let me try that. Calculator dot enter. Okay, that should be okay. Let's do assert equal. All right, so try view actual view dot. Well, I guess I want picker. Don't think that's quite right. Selection icon. Type. Well, I think he should be okay. It's equatable. Just trying to figure out what this thing is giving us. Imperial formatter dot type. Should return a selection value. I don't know. I think that's in the way. Don't know if that's all that's going on. No. Imperial format, a type cannot conform to equatable. We don't want UI bigger. Yeah, I mean, I can look at the variable. Yeah, let me try that. So, let's say calculator dot imperial format. Is that right? No, I want selected unit format. I want SUT. Expect. Keep losing that name. Selected unit format. Yeah, it shouldn't have to be so hard. I mean, he's private, so I can't do that. I don't know. And this is one of those. It's like the line where I want to say it's too much work to do it this way is fast approaching. I mean, I can't set or view the selected unit format, so I can't tell what's going on there, or I can't control it. I could get display afterwards, but again, it's like a bunch of work. I'm gonna say this is a manual test because I don't think it just goes away. Okay, so what I believe we've got is our calculator sets up a default imperial format and it's public, so you can change it if you want to. It's published, so changing it should affect the display because it uses it. So I think it's ready to hook up, and hooking it up is really easy. I think. I think it's just going to be on change of selected unit format. Do something. Okay. And that value calculator dot imperial format equals $0. I think is all it's going to take. So calculator imperial format is this formatter, and that's also the values that come from imperial formatter. So I think $0 here should be the selected format, looking at that field, and then it should update the calculator, which should update the display. I hope that doesn't lead to any problems. $63 inches equals. Okay, now we got the wrong default, but this should work. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so default is set here. Well, I'd really like it to be that. I'm going to switch this default and see how bad the fallout is. If it's really bad, we can set the format in the test setup. Okay. We'll run tests. Gosh, I don't know why they want it, why they've got it being so hard. I mean, you would think that we got selected value should just give me back the selected value on that thing, and I don't know. All right, so tests, whoops. Switch. I can give it a parameter. Well, there is a default wheel style, right, for these things. It actually looks nice on a phone. It gives you the list of things, and you can kind of scroll them up and down, and they're I don't know if they shrink size wise or they're just grayed out, but yeah, that's not that's not relevant to us. We could probably find it, but okay, I think yeah, this one is expecting that. Oh, now that one might be right. That's that -0 thing. But these, right, it's defaulting. I changed the default to inches, and now it's okay. Okay. I can certainly catch the content view ones. Let's do that. Yeah. Okay, let's extract this variable. Calculator. Okay, and then here we'll set that default. Imperial format. Okay. Now I expect these tests to all pass. Calculator tests will still fail. Okay. Now these, do I care? Inches plus inches is inches. I don't think that's not wrong here. We're verifying that like inches plus inches versus inches plus plain numbers. So I would accept 15 inches there. Now this one, unit value, then yeah, I can see that one too. Okay. Was that the only two? Okay, and let's just run it with this. Oh, I should change those tests too. This should defaults to display inches. Oh, the test name tells the right story. Inch 63 inches. Practice this. Yard feet inches, and this one should be inches. Okay, so if I do 77 inches equals, right? Change this. Yeah. Change it back. Okay. I'm pretty happy. All right, make sure these tests run one more time. All right. So make inches the default unit format. Okay. I've been calling this, what, unit format, display format. With picker default to inches. All right. Okay. Well, yeah, that view inspector thing killed me. I saw something come by purple again. I didn't check out which ones, but okay. Rounding is going to be a fun one. So here's the deal. I'm only ready to think about rounding inches with like fractions of inches at this point. So let's say you do some sort of division and you get 0.135 inches. Okay, inches is your answer. And you want to round this to eighths. Well, 0.125 is 1/8, and 0.250 is one quarter or 2/8. And we can see our value is in the middle there. Now, if we're going to display this, round it, let's say we want to round to eighths, I got to choose, do I call that 1/8 or 2/8? And if it's 1/8, well, the difference is 0.01. If it's 2/8, well, it's going to take 0.12. It's definitely closer to 125 than it is to 0.25. Okay. And so we would like to report this as 1/8. Okay. Rounded. All right. But from the Kilt maker perspective, you do stuff like you say, well, let's be nice to somebody. They got a 30-inch waist. It's not me, clearly. And half of it is in back, more or less, 15 inches. Okay. And you want to make pleats with it, and you're dividing this thing out. And the problem is, if you're off by even this 0.05, 0.7, okay, but yeah, even this, you're off by 0.01 inches. Okay. 1/8, it should be plus 0.1 inches. Okay, but you're not going to show that because you're rounding, so you don't show it. All right. But let's say you're doing something this size 25 times, okay, or 50 times. I mean, that's only 1/8 of an inch, right? So maybe you're doing it 50 times. Well, if you take 50 times 0.1 inches, you get 5 inches. So you actually you can't use that 0.135 being 1/8. It's just not accurate enough. When you start multiplying by doing this thing, 10 or 20 or 50 times, those fractions of an inch add up. Now there's ways to tweak it and adjust it, but you'd kind of like to know which way it is. And so they being Kilt makers, they don't just use the fraction like 1/8. They also tell you if it should be a little more or a little less. Okay. So in our case, this should be like 1/8 inch, and I'm going to say it's plus. Okay. I'll put that in a circle, but it's really, you got to make it a little bigger than 1/8 inch or you're going to be short. Okay. So if I need 16 of these, right, that should be 2 inches, but 16 of these is 2 inches. 16 of these is 2.2 inches. So I'm 10% off, give or take. And it adds up. So what I would do is I would tell them it's 1/8 of an inch, but it's closer to being too small. And then they would make it, 1/8 of an inch plus a scoosh or whatever you would call it. And when you multiply it out, those would come out basically right. Okay. So I guess it's, you can't round up and you can't round down because you could have the same problem. Let's take a slightly different number. Let's take 0.2 0.2. Well, yeah, just 0.2. Okay. It's 0.075 from 1/8, and it's 0.5 from 2/8. So it's really closer to 2/8. Okay. It's going to round to 2/8, but it's minus, well, how much? 0.05 inches. 0.05 inches. Okay. So we would call this one 2/8 minus. Okay. And this minus is an extra symbol I'm throwing on, and it tells you if you really use 2/8 quarter inch here, times 20, okay, 20 quarter inches, 20 times 0.5, sorry, times 0.05, 2 is 0.1. You'll be off an inch after 20 of these things. You'll be an inch too big. Okay. So you want to do a scooch less. Okay. Or scant 2/8. You talk about scant teaspoons in cooking, and you can talk about scant measures. In cooking, you say a heaping teaspoon to get the plus. I don't think you've got a comparable term in fabric world. But at any rate, they say 1/8 plus, or one plus if the eighth is implicit. And so I think my answer on this rounding is I got to be prepared to give the full answer. So let's see if I can find that character. Well, that's another problem. My original design, like way back here, just sketched out. I said, oh, you should be able to round to 1. And I got a quarter. Maybe that's supposed to be a half, a quarter, an eighth, a 16th, 32nd, and a 64. Well, nobody's sewing at 64. So maybe there are laser cutter fabric, assembly machines that do. But your average person is mostly working in eighths. Occasionally they'll consider the 16ths. I've never heard of anybody considering the 32nds. And, if you look at your ruler, how small a 32nd of an inch is, you're just, you're just too sloppy at that level to do it. In the overall thing, there's places where you can make an extra pleat, give it just a little, a quarter inch or something. If you're only off a quarter inch, you can kind of hide that in there. You kind of make sure the end result is right, and you do a little adjusting in the middle to make that happen. And it looks to me like there's, sort of 3 or 4 techniques for doing that. So bottom line, what I want to do is have a similar thing that says round. And then I want you to, I think if we just did 8ths and 16ths for now, that would probably be enough. It might be, we might want to round to whole numbers at some point. And then also, we haven't really dealt with eighths versus fractions, but I could also see wanting to do this. 0.01 inch, that's getting pretty small. Maybe 0.1, tenths of an inch. Tenths of an inch is noticeable. I don't know, I got to dig a ruler out and look at millimeters and whatnots, but let's see, I think I have one here. Okay. Well, let's see. What does that? I guess this is the business end. No, this end. So, it's 2.5 centimeters to an inch. So if they were a tenth of an inch, a millimeter was a tenth of an inch. Well, it's not, right? Because it's a tenth of a 2.5 of an inch. So, a tenth of an inch is maybe 2.5 millimeters, something like that, I guess. it's small, but it's bigger than, yeah, 2.5 millimeters. So, I mean, that's maybe a millimeter's a reasonable target. That's pretty tight. I don't know. I don't know any kilt makers who work in millimeters. There are some, but my wife isn't one of them, and her mentor is not either. So, but yeah, so in the future, I'd like to have those possibilities. But for immediate needs, I mean, we absolutely need to round to 1/8, and 1/16 would be nice. The other thing is, I do want to have that symbol in there to say it. It's it was rounded up or it was rounded down, and I think it's the opposite, right? So yeah, the rounded down is a plus and the rounded up is a minus. Just the way it works. I can never get that emoji. Oh, there it is. Come on. Okay. Have I turned on my voice? Okay. Yeah, it turns that on for me all the time. Oh, it's still going. Plus, there's that circle plus. Oh, stupid thing. Now I'm afraid to talk. Okay. Yeah, why they've overloaded this key so much. It's like you use it to control whether your function keys, you use it to control your voice thing, and you use it to control when you insert symbols. Minus and a circle minus. So can I get two that look like they're in the same? Where's math? Okay, those at least look like they're in the same alphabet. Okay, so that's that one. This is that. Oops. Um, 1/4 inch. No. It's they definitely normally work an eighths of an inch, and they'll peak into 16ths of an inch when they need to. So, yeah, that's just the level they work at. It's I mean, kilt fabric is relatively thick. You know, it's kind of like a light wool blanket or something. You know, I guess if you were doing, you know, a shirt out of a normal cotton fabric or something, you know, I don't know if you'd use the 16ths or not. I don't know. But at least I know for my first target audience of one that would definitely like to see 1/8, and they need to know, like, if I divide 25 by 47 or something, they kind of would like to know, like, if you tell me it's 1/8 of an inch, well, I guess one, you know, 0.46 of an inch. I'd like to know if I multiply it back out, am I going to get the same number? And a lot of times it won't be exact, and you'd need to know that. So I think I guess. Well, I mentioned pleats somewhere in here. At some point, I want to talk about pleats. Complete calculator. Okay. There, you know what you're doing. You're making a simple division of the length divided by the size of each pleat, I think. and inside that, with that calculation, you know that it's going to be that. So I could tell you, you know, 150 divided by 47 is 3 point something, and then I could tell you 50 times, 3 and 3/8 is only X, and give you the value, how much you're off, okay, across the whole thing. There I have enough context to do that. In the calculator itself, I'm going to settle for doing this stuff. All right, now the next complication. Let's see. How about eighth? Okay. There are Unicode and Mac characters for 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, 7/8, and also quarters. So you can have 0, 1/8, 1/4, 3/8, 1/2, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, or 1. And so they're nice little symbols for them. Now, you would like to have 16th. Yeah, you got 16th notes, but you don't have 16th values. Now, I did do a little looking up on that. Is this it? Yeah, there's a fraction slash, and basically it's designed to take numbers before and after it, and ideally it will give you subscripts and superscripts and subscripts. Okay. Now it gets kind of goofy. Yeah, so you can get it to look like this if you got the subscript and superscript characters. All right. Now there's a thing, you don't see it here, but 0, 1, 2, and 3 on most fonts, superscript. Okay. Notice 1, 2, and 3 look very fat and big compared to 0, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so if I made a number that looked like 723 over 917, it would look weird because it would have a 9 and then a giant 1 and then a 7. It looks horrible. I played with it last night to do that. And so you can't just do that. There are fonts for which it works. Okay, let's see. Did I miss something? We need to have a round selector and you don't change the color. Yes, that's my hope. But I also want to do this nice formatting for eighths and then a tolerable formatting for 16ths. It would be nice to be able to use the superscripts and subscripts so it looks good. Like they mentioned here, 11/16 looks good like this. But I can't do it with that font. So we'd have to play around with the font, and somebody posted a list of fonts that worked. I should have saved that link. Is it this? No. Okay, maybe it was one of these follow-up. Maybe it was this one. Like, what kind of decision is that? It's like crazy. Yeah, here it is exactly. Their legacy. 1, 2, and 3 were legacy. So the originally Latin 1 set, before Unicode came out, they allowed for to 1 to the 2 to the 3, but they didn't think that anybody would ever want to go to the 4. Okay, here we go. Somebody went through and found out, is that Fino, Courier Bold, American Typewriter, Hirakaku Pro, and Noteworthy Bold. Okay, that these things, they are consistent in with all the digits. Okay, so there is a solution. We can switch to showing our numbers in one of these types. The Courier American Typewriter, I don't know, they're a little too mechanical looking for me for this, but I don't know. Oh, here's some more. Arial Unicode MS. Ooh. Lucida Sans Unicode. Okay, those might be fine. I don't know if they're on iOS. Right. Okay. But we've got a path. All right. So let's see. 1, 2, and 3 are more important. They are. I mean, although 0 and 1, well, you know, 2 and 3, you write x squared or something a lot more, and you write x to the 7th. I'll give them that. But it's like you've already set a size. Why not just conform to it and let everything work with it? You know, it's like, why did you make it unnecessarily inconsistent? Now these look pretty good. That 0 is a little off. 1, 2, 3. No, the 3 is higher. 4, 5 is higher. I mean, come on. Like, okay, I guess I'm not a trained graphic artist to make this judgment. Yeah, Calibri, Courier. I mean, they're definitely available for us. I don't know about Calibri, but Courier. American Typewriter is basically Courier as well. All right. So I think let's take a break and then we'll come back. And I think we'll take that same strategy of let's get a little display thing going for that. Again, I'm just going to start with a couple of values, an 1/8 and a 16th. And I may not even get the 16th working. I don't know. I guess we can work on that. I mean, the division part of it is the same, but the display part's going to be affected by that Unicode stuff, since I want to be look as nice as I can, and since 8ths are a pretty standard number for them. Okay. Yeah, composure and fractions with smaller fonts positioned. Yeah, I mean, maybe that would be just as good too. I mean, I think this is just the system font. Looks all right. We could shrink it, and you know, hopefully for them. Oh, I gotta type it this way. I mean, these numbers all have kind of consistent heights, and they don't jut above or below. If it was small, you know, 2/3 size, then the slash, 2/3 size superscripted slash, 2/3 size subscripted, we could do it. It's the font transformation. I think the subscript character, you know, the subscripted 7, say, is not the same as subscripting your font by 7. We'll find out if that's true or not. All right. Anyway, let's take that break, and we'll be back in 3 or 4 minutes and pick up and get this rounding moving along. I think we'll make some progress on it. It's got some little tweaks. There we go. All right, welcome back. Okay, so I started listing out some tasks. So we need a picker. We're going to actually do the rounding. We're going to show, I'm calling them scoosh characters. I don't know, there's probably a better word. But a little indicator to say whether we rounded down or up. And I want to use Unicode 8ths, e.g. 3/8. Okay. And I think that'll get us there. And then eventually round to 16ths. Format them somehow. We don't know. All right. And again, let's just work on content view. And this one, excuse me, I guess, do I want the display one on the right? Or the rounding? I'll put it on the right. And we'll adjust. Rounding. Okay. And this, I think I can make it. Yeah, good point. Um, I'm gonna say, oh boy, I don't want to list out values like that. I'm gonna say int, and it's gonna be the denominator. You're never rounding to 2/3 or anything like that. Um, all right, and so, oh, now that's different. Um, I don't need a for each, I don't think. Um, well, that's not gonna work, is it? Okay, we'll just see what we got. Okay, let's, yeah. Okay, that's tolerable, but let's put these on a H stack. Yeah, although I was thinking if we wanted those hundredths or tenths of an inch, that 10 or 100 might be a good deal too. But let's put these two in an H stack. And this is telling me I can't quite do it this way. And maybe I shouldn't, because if I'm going to have half a dozen or several of these variants, um, all right, let's just take a look. Yeah, I think that's all right. I'm sure this thing is screwing it up. Okay. Um, let's let's make let's make rounding. Well, I could do it like I did the other one, right? Um, I could make them strings. Iterable. I don't think I need equatable. I mean, that's not an unreasonable way to do these things. Okay. Nobody's... No, I'm not. Maybe that does have to be that. The iterable I'm not going to be able to use. I guess I have to be identifiable to get in my picker. Okay, and this will work, I think. Maybe that's more accurate. Oh. Maybe I can get by with ID self. Okay, that's kind of what I want. And these are the choices. I guess the other way I could do it is case 8th. Case 16th. Yeah, maybe that's the way to go. Let's do that. And we're just going to use 8 and 16. Okay. And then this is more like this one. Yeah. That way. So I'm not using rounding at this point. Oh, but is that gonna... I guess I gotta watch it when I... That should still work though. Okay. All right. That gives me enough there. It's a little painful to get back. Let's put tags on them. Tag $0. Yeah, so I think we'll get the int tag. What am I getting there? Can't say anything. Is that the tag that I get back? Yeah. What did I do here? Okay. Okay. Yeah, good. All right. I think, well, okay, we got the selected rounding as an int. Start eighths, default on that. Okay. No complaints while I did it. All right, I think that's good. So add a picker for rounding. Yeah, I think that's all right. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, so we'll take the win here. Get an hour. All right. Rounding. Okay, so actual rounding. We got to plug in something. Well, I guess we're going to have to tell our calculator the rounding denominator, right? I don't think that's legit. So just like he needs to know that, let's make a test. Now this, I don't know what we do if you just do it numerically. 3 divided by 8 equals 0. Right now we're rounding down. Okay. Okay. All right, let's make it easy on ourselves. 3/8. Binary. We're not really doing our operators here. Oh, we got add. That's not really the right one. Okay. I'm going to start easy and then worry about the Unicode later. We'll have to adjust this. Divide up. Oh, it's already got the entry on it. Okay. Okay, 3 divided by 8. And I think this test will fail. We just saw it get a 0 in our manual run. Okay. Now, so and do the same kind of thing. Start with 8th. And value formatter dot format. Well, he's not very fancy with this stuff. Well, for numbers, I think this thing is sort of implicitly using that same approach. Here's number formatter. Where's he get number formatter? Well, it's passed in on the call. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think the formatter is implicitly rounding and throwing away the decimal, which I was okay with to some level till now, but now we're getting into the meat. I guess what I'm not clear is where is, and the imperial formatter. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, value formatter takes imperial formatter. So value formatter must be passing in the number formatter when it calls this. Okay, formatter is number formatter. Okay, that's the thing that's doing it. Oh, man. Now, I don't know if we can configure this thing. Maybe it'll do fractions. Fraction digits. I think I'm going to have to divide. Gosh, it has so much stuff. Rounding increment. I mean, even as it is, it's designed. It's not designed to do fractions per se. Okay, so we can definitely get the fraction part. Let's see. Okay, so we got formatter, and then where's value formatter? Okay. Now this may be a problematic thing, but I guess if you, I mean, you know the number you're trying to format. It's a double. I don't know. Maybe I got to just set up a separate object or something. The mathematical side of it isn't that hard, right? You just multiply the denominator by the fraction part. And yeah, I mean, there's got to be a truncate or something on double. Truncating. Truncating remainder. That might even be enough. Rounded. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a round. There's got to be a truncate. Even basic had truncate. Let's see what it's on float. Okay, that one I can. Okay. Truncating remainder divided by 1 gives us the fraction. All right. I think his problem up here is more 0.5678 doesn't come out equal, evenly in binary. So, okay. I think that's all right. Sorry, I lost some of your thread here. Okay, yeah, so that clears away. Yeah, we can get decimal value with that truncating reminder. Rounded, I mean integer. Yeah. Okay, so maybe this test is just too hard right now. Simple as it is. Okay. And I've got more complexity I want to. All right. Value formatter. Well, let's say let's extract a function. Result is string. Good. Okay. I'm not going to worry about my decimals yet. Okay, so give me a number. Hopefully that's a double. Yep. And I will give you back the string, and this thing does that. Okay, so let how about non-fraction equals that? Okay. If non-fraction is internal error, return non-fraction. Okay. Now I want to make this stuff work. Okay, so where was that truncating remainder? This thing. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so let fraction equal that, a number, that divided by that. Okay. Let's just say return fraction for now. Okay, so, well, let's see what we get here. I mean, we're not going to get 3/8 out of that, but oops, I actually wanted to run the test. I think we're going to get 0.0.12.125. Oh, well, yeah, we should use 3/8 for the answer. Good enough. All right, I got the 0.0. Okay. Let's see. So now I have a fraction. Do I have the denominator? Do I need it there, or is it part of the value formatter? Okay, I'm gonna hard code it for now. I just want to get through, get through, and then we'll generalize it. Okay, so if I had this fraction, all right, and if I take let numerator equals fraction times denominator. Maybe this is rounding denominator. Double, yeah. Okay. That should give me, if I truncate that, do I want to truncate that? Do I want to return tuple? Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to at some point do something like that. Is that legit? Is that function there? Okay, apparently that's all right. Okay, so now I want to do non-fraction. I actually want that mid dot thing. Well, okay. All right, I believe I've got the right answer there. So now if non-fraction is 0, we're going to do something. We're going to return, numerator slash rounding denominator. Otherwise, this is DVD. Oh, non-fraction. Well, let's say we're going to have to find better ways on this. For sure. All right. It's going to start clunky. Okay. We get the non-fraction part. If it turns out it's an error, we return that. A little awkward. We find the fraction part. We convert it back to the numerator value by multiplying. And then assuming it's 0, the numerator, then we just print that numerator and the rounding denominator. Now that's not always true. Okay, let's see if that test passes. But one thing that could happen if you had 0.999 times 8, like you want to do some rounding here somewhere. Oh dear. Okay. No, that's not right. Yeah, so if the numerator is 0, then it came out perfectly. And we just want to return the non-fraction. Non-fraction. Okay. Okay. Now, yeah, we'll keep that as a test case. Okay, if there is no denominator, then just return the numerator like we always did. Okay. If there is a denominator, I mean a numerator, non-zero, then we're going to show it. And in this case, non-fraction is 0. So we don't need to show 0 and 3/8 or anything like that. Okay. I think are we still getting that? No. Okay, that's not passing, but oh. Okay. I kind of think we want this again. What else we got going on here? Who else was wrong? Exceptional numbers. Yeah, although I don't know if I want to leave it an integer type or just format it as an integer. No one's going to be doing, galactic size computations with this thing. I mean, lots of kilters and quilters have lots of fabric, but they don't have, that size. Result too large. What do we get? Okay. Yeah. That other case. Okay. Well, let's straighten that out. Okay. If all we did was return non-fraction, then we'd have what we did before. Okay. We're going to adjust it. All right. I'm trying to get those other tests to pass and only break the one we're working on. I don't know why he's upset about that. He gets over it, but it just bugs him. Okay, now we're here. We just have this 3/8, 3.08. All right. Well, and this is certainly a valid way to get a numeric string for this thing. Okay. Formatted a string value numerator. Okay, let's get through it. And he's stuck. No. Am I not calculating this right? Okay. Numerator equals 0. Non-fraction is 0. Format string from numerator. Oh, numerator string. Okay, yeah, we'll get there. All right. I mean, I'm spinning off, I call them obligations, you know? I haven't dealt with internal error here. I haven't dealt with the real case when this doesn't round. Okay. But I think this much, well, he returns nil. Okay, so it's clunky. Let's We'll do what we can in sort of a refactoring mode, and then cover these other cases. Yeah, I mean, can it fail? Well, maybe it can't, right? Because I mean, our numerators are not, 10 to the 315th or anything. They're 8, 16, and maybe 100, maybe 10, maybe 4, maybe 2, maybe 1, but nothing that big. Okay, so that implies this can't be. All right, so let's make this be, let's just make it be int of that. Numerator is 0, non-fraction string. Otherwise, yeah, exactly. It never is fractional. It's just a question of size, but I don't think size is really an issue either. Since it's always at most rounding denominator. Okay. So numerator rounding denominator. Okay, that should be a no change to our one silly test. Well, not so silly. It took a good bit of time to get that right. Yeah, this stuff's still going on. Okay. Okay. Double value cannot be infinite or none. Well, okay. Yeah, we do want to know if it's rounded up or down. Okay, so this one, I think, well, okay, it's not returning nil, it's returning nan, not a number, for divide by 0 or infinity. I never remember which. I guess infinity. So I think what we need to do is, if, can I say starts with? Okay, 0 through 9. Character class. Well, really, it's the opposite. A to Z, A to Z. Okay. Plus, minus. Yeah. Because it can say plus infinity. All right. So if it starts with those, return out. Otherwise we're assuming it was numeric. And we got a fraction string. Okay. Oh, good point. I think it can end with really you have starts with. Oh golly. Well, let's be more direct. Oh good, thank you. Suffix string. No, that's not quite the same. Right. Is normal, is that the opposite of subnormal? Oh, well, that's a good point. Dot. Isn't that weird? You've got prefix match, first match, whole match. Okay, this is dot star A through Z, dollar. Okay, so we got the non-fraction string. If it excuse me. Not equal nil. Okay. So if it does match one of these things, bust out. Okay. Right. Okay, so now got the fraction numerator. Okay. I think I'm ready to do more tests. All right. So we've tested this one where the fraction is 0. All right. I just can't test that picker right to make the other thing go. Okay. Well, 24 is 3 times 8, so 25. 2. rounding, let's see, rounding to eighths with no integer part. Rounding to eighths with integer part. Okay. If numerator equals 0. Okay, that's another good one. Let's see, you mentioned another one too. Yeah, that case. All right, let's get them down. Sorry. Okay, this one, 25 is 3 1/8. Okay, so I would like 3 1/8. And I love that little middle dot, okay? And I really do want to use it here. I think I put it in here somewhere. Well, I know it's on our yard feet inches, so let's go to Imperial Formatter. This bad boy. Okay. Yeah, so this case, it's 0. Oh, if numerator is 0, we get out. Okay, so I want this. And I guess I want this. Yeah. Okay, so I've got the non-fraction string dot 3/8 or 1/8 or whatever. Okay. What's your problem? Okay. Oh, well, it would help if I made my test expect that. It's not what you call a good sign. All right, let's try again. Okay, this test is, that test isn't really done. Okay, so, right. I don't know. We're pounding them. It's going to be a lot of combinations. All right, but that one works. But this case where it's equal to it, okay, let's get the test case in first. All right, so this one, can that happen? Yeah, if I had 0.99, well, if I have 50, can I get 7/8, 8/9? All right, let's try 8, but oh no, we got 85. Okay, so if the case I'm after is the equivalent of 1 point of 0.999 or something like that. What happens with 0.9? You got 0.875. It's going to round down to that. Well, the easy way to get it is this. Divided by 100. Okay, so 0.99 is really should come out to be 1. 99 divided by 100 is 1.99. If you look at 0.875 versus 1.0, it should be 1.0. So it should round up. All right. I don't think we allow that case right now. We'll probably say 1.1 maybe. One 7/8. I think I'm truncating and I need to be rounding somewhere, but oh my gosh. So we're taking 0.99 times 8 is 7 point something, of course. But I think we need to add I got to make sure I don't change something that's right. I mean, I think what you need to do is add a 1/16 of an inch somewhere. If it's zero or maybe a little less. Okay, so if it's 0 and you add a 1/16 of an inch, it might round up to 1/8. If it's 0.999 and you add a 1/16 of an inch, it's going to round up to 1 point something, and then we'll get our 8. Well, let's just start with this. 1 divided by 2 times rounding denominator. Okay, so I'm adding a 1/16 if it's an 1/8. Maybe that's okay because you add a half if you want to check a number for rounding. So 0 to 0.49999 plus a half is still under. So I guess that's an open question to me. Well, let's run it. Oh, come on. Doubles plus doubles. Oh, maybe I gotta. Still too hard. Okay. Still failing. One 7/8. All right, I gotta see these values. Oops. Okay, so print a number 0.98999. All right. Print a number times a rounding denominator. $7.91. Maybe I have to round this first. Okay. All right. I don't have to play with that. Oh, come on. He's running. Oh, 1/8. Okay, that's where I wanted to be. I want to say if the numerator is 0 or the numerator is rounding denominator, okay, then we don't need a fraction because it would have rounded it up already and we're not responsible. Oh, well, that tells me I'm still screwing up. Okay. We may spend some time ripping out View Inspector. I'm getting frustrated with these warnings. Okay, golly. There's too many combinations going on here. Now, my next worry is the fraction number formatter is going to round stuff up for us. Right, so if we did have 1 7/8, I got a feeling it would be show up as 2 7/8. Okay. And I'm getting tired of typing this stuff. Okay, let's give ourselves a helper. Function private func number takes a string of digits and enters them in the calculator. Okay, so let's do digits dot for each in. All right. There's one that takes a string, right? Text. Okay, good. Int of character. I don't know if this is really a character or a string. Right. String dot element. Let's make this string C. All right. So with that, I should be able to say number 42. All right, and these two go out. Okay, so I guess here, does number formatter also round is my question. And calculator tests are fine. I'm going to take this offline, but I'll go through, and anytime we got more than one digit in a row, I'll switch it to use that number entry, and then we'll be set up next time to look at something like this. Well, maybe I can do it real cheap in 10 seconds here. What if we just did 199 divided by 100? Okay, so that should be 2. All right, and I think it's not going to. I think it's be one. Oh. Well, maybe we're okay. I guess if it's rounded, the only way it rounds. No, I'll leave the question open. I'll leave it open. We'll come up with more tests, better tests. All right. Well, so we'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday, and it's 2 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern or 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. We made some progress on this rounding. We've got relatively complicated requirements for it, so I don't know. It's looking a little complex to my taste because there's too many choices here, but we'll see what we can do. I do like the look of this with the little dot and the fraction and all that stuff, so that's promising. All right, we'll pick up there tomorrow. Thanks for joining. Catch you again tomorrow some other time, I hope. Bye-bye.